Ninja at Six Flags St. Louis is rather infamous in the Coaster Enthusiast community. Many saying it's the worst coaster in the US, or even the whole world, so I must say, my expectations were really quite low when I rode it in August of 2019. But before we get into my thoughts on the ride, let's talk about Ninja's strange history.
Ninja started out at the Expo 86 in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, where it operated as Scream Machine. The ride was designed by the legend himself, Ron Toomer, the same genius who brought you rides like Magnum, Gemini, Viper, and Viper. But not that Viper. He also designed Vortex, Vortex, and even Vortex. But not that Vortex. The ride began being manufactured by Aerohoos. However, partway through construction, Aerohoos went bankrupt and had to leave the project behind. Vekoma picked up from there, since they used the same track style and finished the ride. It supported a red and white color scheme and was situated near the Canada Pavilion. Some of the other attractions at Expo 86 included a monorail and the world's largest ice hockey stick and puck, which has to be one of the most patriotic things I've ever seen. When the World's Fair ended, Scream Machine needed somewhere to go. This is when Six Flags purchased the ride and relocated it to Six Flags Over Mid-America in Eureka, Missouri, now known as Six Flags St. Louis. Interestingly, Scream Machine wasn't the only ride from Expo 86 to be relocated, as the monorail was relocated to Alton Towers in England. The ride was named Ninja and kept its white and red color scheme up until 1998, when the track was painted to black. It gained a height requirement of 48 inches and a thrill level of max. According to the website, it goes upside down. Wow, I could have never guessed. The ride operates in the studio backlot area of the park and is right next to Batman the Ride. When you walk up to Ninja, you're going to see an Asian-inspired archway with two ninja statues to the side, which, admittedly, looks kind of nice. The logo is well designed and makes me want to hop on into the ride and see what it's like. You're going to walk through an empty queue with no theming, mostly consisting of switchbacks, and eventually make it up to the empty station, also with no theming. Enter one of the ride's 14 rows and climb into its classic Aero-style train. A few years ago, the train had advertisements all over it, however they removed those, so good job, Six Flags? I would like to note that the restraints on Ninja have these weird round handlebars, rather than the regular steel handlebar. I noticed the same thing on Boomerang in the same park, so I guess it's just a Six Flags St. Louis thing. It doesn't affect the ride experience too much, so that's okay. In terms of the ride itself, you're going to exit the station and make a wide left-hand turn where you latch onto that classic, loud Aero lift hill. It's like music to my ears. You're going to crest the hill at a maximum height of 108 feet and make a small dip followed by a sharp 180-degree right-hand turn. You then get flung into the drop. It's a pretty small drop, but these loopers don't need to have large drops. I sat in the middle of the train, so I didn't really feel anything, but I'd imagine if you were in the back of the train, you'd get a good pop of ejector. You then get thrown up into a standard Aero vertical loop. Nothing too special, just the average loop. It feels quite reminiscent of Viper's loop because of how high off the ground it is. You are then flung into the element that gives this ride the reputation it has, the Sidewinder. Yeah, you can tell they didn't know how to shape this thing. It reminds me of if you took the second half of a bat wing and made the exit wonky and messed it up. Your head just gets thrashed around into the restraint. If your head is above the restraint, it just gets thrashed around, period. It beats you up like a ninja, so I guess that's theming. The element isn't all bad, though, because during the exit, you get this amazing head chopper moment with the lift chain. Was it intentional? Probably not. Does it work? Absolutely. You enter a pretty graceful helix, which gives some nice views of the surrounding landscape, and a mid-course brake run separates the two halves of the ride. You then do another drop, this time out of the mid-course. Could this one have been bigger? Yeah, of course, but it's okay for what it is. The small turn around the lift hill lines you up with a double corkscrew. And yes, Ninja has that classic strange 90-degree bank into the corkscrew these classic loopers seem to have. The corkscrews are, in my opinion, the best part of the ride. They are very smooth with little to no headbanging. They give some unique views of River King Mine Train as you pass through them, as well. Another small turn brings you into the ride's Helix finale, which works great for a ride like this. It's smooth and the transitions are pretty okay. And just like that, you slam into the brakes and back into the station. Overall, I enjoyed Ninja. It's a solid middle-of-the-road looper that isn't as good as something like Viper or Dragon Mountain, but isn't as bad as something like Dragon Fire. If you know the history behind the ride, it enhances the experience a bit, and it's pretty cool I got to ride something that originated in my home country. Yeah, it has some strange pacing, and yeah, it has some wonky elements, but it still is a pretty okay ride. On the Cursed to Blessed scale, it gets a blurst. Should it be removed for an RMC Raptor? Sure. Would I be sad to see it go? Kinda, I guess. It's still a perfect fit for Six Flags St. Louis. It has some nice sightlines and can be seen from all over. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Later.